And the funny thing is, no one gives a shit about anyone but themselves.
No.
Let's be real.
They don't. That's gonna be the quote of the show because it's true. Nobody. You know what? Nobody gives a shit. Nobody cares.
No.
Nobody cares.
Mm-hmm. We're all too busy worrying about ourselves.
Yeah.
We don't have the patience or the time to deal with you as well.
No.
The millennial generation is as follows.
Welcome to
Surrounded by Idiots
Radio Podcast.
Hey everybody, welcome back. This is the Surrounded by Idiots Radio Podcast. This is your host, Dr. Tony DeFreen, and this is where you come to get news and information and life hacks and all sorts of stuff. Basically, how to rise above the bullshit and create the life you want to live. Today I want to bring in somebody that is a really the millennial expert. My voice of millennial. She is a relatively newlywed. She's, 30 now?
32. But thanks for making me young.
No worries. She hit the 32 mark, right in the sweet spot of the millennial era. She's a new mom and married, and then she's a nurse, and I mean, your curriculum vitae goes on for hours. So I'm just going to cut it right there. But it's Mariah. Hey, Mariah, how you doing?
Hey, Tony, doing great.
Good.
Thanks for having me on the show.
I'm really glad to have you on. This is going to be, especially for this topic today. I actually picked this topic because you're on. And I'll explain the reasons why. And it's because of a CNN. I've got CNN as the app, and I'm scrolling through stuff. And I saw this thing today about Ashley Graham. And you know who Ashley Graham is. She is she's amazing. They call them plus size models, but I think that's bullshit. She's a model. She is one of the most beautiful women on the face of this earth. I think she's absolutely
hands down
fucking stunning. I mean,
she's amazing. She's gorgeous.
I gotta mop my
cold
brow
shower
when I think about. I think she's unbelievable, and I mean just unbelievable. And she posted a workout video, probably I think about a week ago or so, give or take, on her own website. And it was her doing, crunches and band work and all that kind of stuff. And I mean, really cool stuff. Just showing everybody, her video and how she keeps healthy and how she exercises and whatnot. And of course, what happens? She gets these fucking stupid troll people who basically trolls are younger, disgusting guys. I guarantee you, they're all guys. Younger, disgusting guys, totally insecure. That have nothing better to do than to put down other people just because they put themselves out there. So but it's a plague of society. But that's what happens when you have an open forum like anywhere you can post comments. So she said every single time she posts a workout video, she gets these comments, and then she commented back, the reasons why I do work out is to, exercise and stay healthy, and to show that anybody can do the exercise at any time. All positives. And of course she got some positive stuff. The one thing that I took away from this is the one thing that she said that really stuck with me. And the thing that she said, and I'm gonna get it exactly right because I thought it was beautiful. She said it's about embracing what is the different in you. Because she said that in society, you can't win and you can't lose. She goes, people have called me too fat, they've called me too thin, they've called me ugly, they've called me pretty. How anybody could call that girl ugly is beyond me. But still, call me ugly, call me pretty. And she goes, I can't win. And then she said, women can't win. To be honest with you,
no.
I totally agree. Completely and utterly agree with her.
She's right.
So really, it's about embracing the different in you. And that's why I love the fact that I have you on this show, because out of anybody that I have ever known in my whole few years on this earth, you are the most embrace my different person I know.
Well, that is such a compliment. I love that.
But you are, because when it comes down to it, you just there's all these pressures and whatnot, and you've gone through it, and you've been back on, you've been in the East Coast, you've been on the West Coast, you've been in different places, you've been in high fashion places. But the whole time is you're usually very authentic, and you continue just to be, well, I don't fucking care, I don't give a shit, the type of a thing. So how do you do it? Where does that come from? Where, what's the magic formula? Because, and I'm speaking, to be totally honest with you, I battle my wearing on my sleeve thing is my body dysmorphia. And I've been fighting that since I was, super young, when somebody in my family pretty much called me a fat ass. And ever since then, I've been dealing with this issue of feeling, and that's why I work out all the time. But I'm constantly critiquing myself on that. I'm constantly having to reset myself in terms of being okay and accepting my different. That's a thing I do. I really have to reset myself a number of times sometimes a lot of times during the day. So how do you do it? I mean, what's the, where did that come from with you?
My mother, for sure. At a very young age, she used to put me in front of the mirror and ask where the pretty baby was and show me how to pat my head. And from that day forward, it was all about building positive self-image. She modeled positive self-image. She would run around in a bikini at the beach after having a baby. She just didn't care. My mother is the ultimate I don't give a shit. You think I'm like that? She is just like, this is how it's going, and I love myself and my life, and this is just who I am. So I think a lot of it had to do with the model I was given. But I think the other part of it is that I spent a lot of time when I was younger trying to be very, very perfect in a lot of ways. I had to get straight A's or I cried. I was on the dance team and had teachers critiquing things like weight and looks all the time. And remember being in high school and doing things like eating an apple for lunch for like a week straight.
Wow.
And then kind of crashing near the end and thinking, screw it, like not worth it. I never really fell down the rabbit hole with it all, but I had my moments. And I think I just got to this point where through different life experiences, going to college, studying abroad, experiencing other cultures, men in South America think you are beautiful if you
really.
got curves.
So South America really digs the style.
Oh, please!
Really?
I mean, you just are like swatting them off you in South
no
America.
Kidding, really.
So, oh God, yes, I felt like a rock star. And I think just that, and then, just living in different areas, living in some places that are a little bit more rural, like different parts of Maine versus living in Boston versus Scottsdale, where, all the girls are decked out when they go out. I just kind of got to a point where I thought, I can continue to try to change my own image based on my surroundings, or I can just be myself, be really grateful for the skills and talents and the beauty I do have, however that presents itself. And, I just try to surround myself with genuine, authentic people. And luckily for me, I've, found a mate, a life partner who is incredibly embracing of me without makeup, without shaved legs, at any different sizes. I mean, I fluctuated probably 50 pounds between now and when we first met, back and forth, just depending on stress in life. So, I think just having those experiences and being well-rounded and being surrounded by so many interesting people who don't have that at the forefront of their purpose in life, truly.
And so it's really a focus that you're being able to embrace it, because clearly you had an amazing role model. You had great neural imprinting, if I want to get all science on you, at the beginning with your mom, in terms of just overall acceptance of who you are and what it is, and seeing that, that's a big thing with people, because even with me, I know, because of the dysmorphia stuff, people look in the mirror and they see really what they want to. Not what they want to, but they want to subconsciously, and they'll see what they saw as that kid. They'll see that an ugly person. They'll see the too skinny. They'll see too fat. They'll see loser. They'll when they look in the mirror, because that's the warped sense through the ego. And I know, and I'm assuming even with a really good what you had growing up and a good foundation. There's still moments and there's waves where
all
that
the time,
it comes
course.
in and it comes out and stuff. And what about your friends? And I know you have sisters, you have friends. Do they lean on you for that? Do you think that that's something that that they look for you in terms of reinforcement? I am sure, and I'm for a fact that I'm not the only one that sees the level, the level that you have in regards to being comfortable with yourself and in your own skin.
Yeah, I do think that I have. I mean, obviously not all of them. Everyone's different, but I would say for sure that I have some friends, and hopefully my sisters feel that way, that I've kind of modeled confident behavior for them. And like we said before, that's not to say that I'm perfect, and I certainly have many of my own meltdowns.
Yeah,
about
nobody
things.
said that, Mariah.
No, none of that. Just to clarify.
I do not believe I said perfect.
Nope.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we're again, and I know you love the term. We're all dumpster fires.
We are all dumpster
We
fires.
are all, but
it's true.
But this. Go ahead.
Well, no, but I mean, I have an example even of, I think I've told you this one before, of a friend of mine, a great friend who is absolutely gorgeous and is one of those people that rarely understands that or believes that. And we were sitting at a bar when we were maybe 23, and she was kind of blown away because I was wearing my puffy coat and I had a ponytail in my hair and no makeup, and was
All right.
less than interested in anyone at the bar.
Yeah.
And yet I attracted some interesting people, and not shitty guys, pretty nice ones who were kind of interesting. And she just looked at me and said, I don't get it. It's like you don't even try and they just show up. And that's not to say that I'm a girl that goes to the bar and everybody talks to. But in that particular moment, what I kind of said to her was, this is what I mean. You don't need to try so hard, because if you're an interesting person and you give off a confident vibe, you can fool anyone into coming over to talk to you.
But I'm not sure it's as tongue in cheek as you said that. It's not fooling anybody. It's actually. Don't you think it's the opposite? It's actually being truly authentic in terms of
and
who you
cool
really
thing.
are. And it's an energy. It is an absolute energy when you actually get to the point where. And now, do you have to settle yourself in or create that and say to yourself almost like an affirmation, okay, I'm not going to give a shit? Or is it just something that you've incorporated into your life so deeply that you don't even have to think about it anymore?
I think sometimes I have to remind myself, sometimes when I start to spiral a little bit, if for whatever reason, like, being a new mom, obviously I've had a baby, my body's changed and things still are kind of like shifted and not fitting exactly correctly. And so I definitely have moments where I get frustrated and I'll be trying something on and I'm like, oh, God damn it. Like, this is not what I want it to look like. And so when I start to feel that way, I'm like, simmer down. And this is literally what I do right now is I look at my kid and I think, who cares? Because look at what I created. So my body's amazing. It functions. And I think also as a nurse, having dealt with patients who have had such severe medical conditions and injuries to where they can't even walk anymore, I'm incredibly grateful that I have a functioning, healthy body. That's a huge thing for me, is perspective on that. And I know that is, having done volunteer work, both of us with singleton moms, you see people who have real shit to worry about, and like, who am I to sit here and worry about a couple extra pounds? Yeah. Who cares? Life is too short. So like, YOLO, eat the cake.
Right. Exactly. I want that tattooed on my
kind of where I'm
forehead. YOLO, just eat the cake. To be honest with you, I'm going to go buy a cake just to eat it now. Although I just had, for the record, I had an entire container of Biscoffs yesterday, and I just had 5, and I'm still trying to deal with that. But the YOLO, just eat the cake is brilliant. I love that. But you brought up 2.
I'm so glad.
Right? Thank you, Mariah, for that. Thank you for empowering me again. You brought up 2 really, 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 really important things in that. The first thing is you brought up perspective. And it's about creating that perspective that taking into perspective not just that little microscope, that little tunnel vision of your situation in terms of you comparing yourself to somebody else or to like somebody else that's above you, obviously, because that's what we always do to make ourself feels like shit. It's about comparing yourself to maybe a wider spectrum of people that are like you and I when we were working at Singleton Moms, dealing with these brave women with kids trying to hold down a job that are dealing with stage 4 breast cancer and just trying to get up in the morning, or dealing with people who have lost legs or who have mental disabilities, and then looking at that way. And then the second thing and the most powerful thing is the gratitude, because gratitude is really the cornerstone, should be the cornerstone in anybody's life. And it's the one thing outside of meditation, and I talked about that last week with Lexi, the one thing besides meditation that will ground you faster and that will improve your life immediately if you continually fall back onto having a sense of gratitude in your life. That's like gold. You know, everybody looks for like the quick fix or the answer. I'm telling you right now, you work with a sense of gratitude. You go to bed every night and say 3 things that you're grateful for that happened that day. You wake up in the morning and you say what 3 things you're grateful for coming into, for your entire life. Your life will improve immediately. I guarantee it. Absolutely guarantee it. That's just a proven thing.
100%.
Right. And that,
yes,
but
I
that's
agree with you 100%.
That process is what you deal with in regards to the acceptance of you're different.
The thing for me is that I feel like women are horrible to themselves all the time, no matter how wonderful and beautiful they are. And all women are beautiful in their own way. But
Agreed,
I feel
by
kind
the
of
way.
I know yes.
I love women.
Good, thank God.
I love women. Well, I was not to digress, but I was. My mom is the central figure in my life. I have 2 sisters, and I raised my daughter. So
yep.
I've been
you do love women for real.
I've been surrounded by estrogen my entire life, so I know.
So it just had to seep in a little bit,
a little bit, yeah, a little bit. So no, I all due respect, and I always say the amount of shit that you guys have to deal with versus what we have to deal with is so insanely unfair. If fairness was actually a law. Which it's not, and it's not supposed to be. But you guys deal with so much extra shit that we don't have to. It's unbelievable, and props to you for dealing with that, and then doing that with grace and authenticity and all that. That's a thing. I mean, there has to be some effort put into that.
There is. It's a learning curve, and it's like conditioning. It's like when you work out, you can't just expect to be in physical shape if you sit around and do nothing about it. So I feel like it's the same way with your emotional health and your mental health. You have to put in effort and be cognizant of how you're acting and what you're doing and how you approach things in life that are difficult or whatever. But as a woman who is, I would say more confident in a lot of ways. I do feel like it's my job to always bring other women up. So I'm never going to troll. I'm never going to be the person to tell you you're fat or you're not good enough. I will always tell you that you're beautiful and wonderful and smart and whatever. And I'll do it until I'm blue in the face, even if you don't listen, because my hope is that one day it's going to sink in. And even at work, I have done this new thing. I got to tell you, I work with all girls pretty much, except for maybe 2 doctors who are men. And the amount of negative body talk that goes on in a given day is absolutely absurd.
Really?
Awful. I have never worked with so many women who are so hard on themselves. And I finally said the other day, I'm going to walk around with a jar, and every time any one of you says anything remotely negative, you're going to put $1 in the jar. And when I have all of your money, I'm going to go take myself out.
And eat a
because
cake,
I'm done.
I hope.
And I'm going to eat a cake. I'm going to eat a goddamn cake.
Yeah.
Just to spite you.
Exactly.
I'm like, I'm done. You're all
Uh-huh.
beautiful. You're fabulous. You're smart. You work in a profession where you're helping other people. Stop it. Just stop it.
Mm-hmm. And did that help at all? I mean, it's just, I know I think that's a great approach because it creates a little lightness to it, and it makes it kind of fun.
Right.
And then what's great is that's actually a pattern interrupt, and it also acts as if this is all psycho babble bullshit, but it is a pattern interrupt. So they're gonna know. It's like snapping the rubber band on your wrist.
Or the stop.
Yep, or the stop.
YouTube video.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And which works on kids, but it works on people too, which is a really great point. Because what they'll do is they'll get to know that every single time they do, and if you hear it, you're going to go up, and they're going to have to fork over a buck. So it's like negative reinforcement of something.
Exactly.
Right. And then, but it also creates it sort of lightens the load. It doesn't put a lot of pressure on have to. It just makes it kind of, oh, I did it again, and
right.
then it's which I think from an ego standpoint is going to be much more easier to sneak past that fucking ego and get and dive more into the true self in terms of understanding and having a level of acceptance. And I guarantee you that thing, if you guys keep it up, that'll make a difference.
Yeah.
I
mean, I think, everyone laughs right now, but I'm like, no, but look around you. How many successful men do you know that can sit in a corporate office right at the top of their game, big old pot bellies out, and they don't give a crap about their appearance, but they're running the company,
right.
and they're rocking and rolling. And then you've got all these women who are just, little robots trying to be perfect. And the funny thing is, no one gives a shit about anyone but themselves.
No.
Let's be real.
They don't. That's gonna be the quote of the show because it's true. Nobody. You know what? Nobody gives a shit. Nobody cares.
No.
Nobody cares.
Mm-hmm. We're all too busy worried about ourselves.
Yeah.
We don't have the patience or the time to deal with you as well.
No.
We don't.
Nobody,
we just don't care.
No, nobody cares. I gotta bring up something. I had an old boss, and he was kind of a cadre guy and very misogynistic. And he, fucking guy, and he, we were talking back and forth. He always, hey, Dufresne, how do you do? Because I used to date a lot back in the day, and and he goes, Dufresne, man, how do you do it? This and that. I go, whatever. He goes, I go, well, man, it seems like you do pretty well. He goes, yeah, you know why? And he had a big old pot belly, pretty much no hair left. He drank like a fish. And he was in it was bad shape. The skin's blotchy. He was kind of a mess. He's kind of a mess.
Mm-hmm.
But he goes, because he goes to me, he goes, because it doesn't matter what I look like. It matters what they look like. It doesn't matter what I look like.
See?
Yeah.
But he's right. How many times do you see this beautiful pulled together woman trying so hard, and she's dating this schmuck who is maybe a 5.
Okay, well, why? Then you tell me, why do those women go with those guys?
Because they have no confidence.
Da-da. That or it's the gold,
Or they want money, which
yeah.
props to them. Whatever.
Right? You're gonna sell your soul for a new car? I mean, come on.
I'm not gonna sell mine, but
Yeah, but
I know a lot of women who
but
would.
we both know a number of women
Yes,
who
we
would
do.
that.
Yes.
Yeah, and there's
Yes.
and you hope that kind of goes by the wayside. So to sum it up, and you had some great points, and but right off the top of your head, somebody has an issue, a woman has an issue, even a guy has an issue with this. What would you say would be the way to go about resetting yourself?
Number one would absolutely be to find gratitude. Okay, you can even lump that in with perspective. So think about your own body, how grateful you are that it functions, that it works, that you're healthy when so many people aren't. Kind of look at the good qualities that you do bring and the things that you find beautiful about yourself. Focus on those positive attributes. Daily mantras in the mirror when you get up are actually really powerful. I used to do them. So just one quote or one phrase that really gets you kind of pumped up in the morning, feeling good about yourself and confident for the day. And, do what feels good. So, take care of yourself as though your body is a tool and your mind is a tool. So that doesn't mean you need to weigh what a supermodel weighs. That doesn't mean you need to look like a supermodel, but work out because it makes you feel good. It releases endorphins. Find something you enjoy doing. If you're unhappy with yourself, don't go run 10 miles if you hate running. Do what you like to do because you'll be more likely to stick with it. Don't worry about counting every single calorie. Go and eat food that's healthy, that feels good and makes your body feel good. And if you take some of the focus off of, docking miles and docking calories and trying to kind of like psychoanalyze every single thing you're doing in your life and how it's created who you are, just live and do what makes you feel good and healthy and happy. And give to others, man. Go give to people. Throw yourself in the service of others because that is the best way to change your perspective and to start being appreciative for what you have.
Mariah Perrick, everybody. I have nothing to add.
Boom! I dropped my mic if I could.
Please don't drop your mic.
I won't drop it.
It's new. It's not cheap. Okay, good. But thank you. That was like if a bumper sticker could be that long, that should be the bumper sticker.
Oh, thank you.
But that's awesome. So remember, it's javabud.com. You can find the podcast there. Also, the videos. I'm putting the videos up. And we're doing a video, so hi, everybody. And you'll be able to see the beautiful Mariah in all of her glory.
You. The handsome Tony.
At her amazing Boston residence. Go Boston. And so you can find all that stuff on the website and also on iTunes and Stitcher and SoundCloud, the usual places. If you have any questions for me, like always, you could find me at tony@javabud.com. You can make comments. There's literally 20 ways you can get a hold of me if you want to. Not a problem. Again, thanks, Marie Talks. You are awesome, and I guarantee you, she'll like this one too.
We love Marie.
And I didn't even, and I'm not even doing it trying to, because I didn't even have to before. So, but she's great. And thank you for everybody else. The subscribers continue to grow, and our tribe continues to grow, and it's about helping each other. And if you do have anything that you think that would contribute to us, please let us know. So. Again, thanks, Mariah. Appreciate it. And we will talk again very, very soon. And goodbye, everybody.